Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of BassQuest, coming at you from the wheelchair again, over at the house and pumping out some videos for you. And I wanted to talk with you today about the BIG Soft Plastic Swimbait that in the summer to fall transition will get you more bites, in my opinion, than any other swimbait. So there's some pros and some cons to this, but I'm going to go ahead and let the cat out of the bag here. A lot of these local guys know this bait, but that right there looks like a big, beautiful gizzard shad is a Savage Gear line through roach. And it's actually made to catch pike. Like, they literally, as overseas, they made this thing to troll for pike. But you can throw it out there and it's line through and you can straight reel it. So you see there's a harness down here with a hook on it. If I mess with that, I should be able to get it out, even with my bad hand there. Yeah, there's the harness you tie on here once that line comes through the bait there, and you can either rig it top hook or bottom hook. Now, I'll tell you right now, due to the profile of this bait, it's nearly impossible to get a good hook in a fish with the top hook. So that brings us to, let's talk about the pros first. So what makes this bait so darn effective? You can see it right there. Now that should remind you of something, just the overall design of this bait. It's basically a hyper realistic, and it feels realistic. It's a bull shad, right? This bait you can burn relatively fast without blowing out. It swims really wide, just like you see a big gizzard shad swim. You know, where they use their whole body, a lot of head roll and stuff like that. And especially during this time of year when the water's warm, to me, that mimics those baits or those big shad more than anything. Better than anything else that you can throw, and it feels realistic and everything. This bait absolutely gets crushed, whether it's on a straight retrieve. But I'll tell you, most of the time, what I will do is keep this thing in sight and actually fish it similar to the way I would a glide bait. I'll swim it and kick it out to the side. When you stop it, it'll curl out just like a glide bait. So you can cut it a couple times and curl it out again. And then if you get a fish on it, a lot of times in the summer they want to chase. Again, we're talking about that chase response. It's not like you're running the glide bait normally through the beginning part of the year and then the winter part of the year, and you're wanting that slow glide and that pause out there. A lot of times those fish don't care about that at all. What they want is that bait to get there, get their attention, and then flee a little bit and then present the opportunity to strike. So that's what you can do with this bait. It's dynamite around grass edges, really anywhere there's big fish, this thing will find them. Now we're going to go to the cons. I have never ever thrown a big bait, and I've thrown a lot of big baits, guys. I've never thrown a big bait that has a worse hookup ratio than this stupid thing here. It is so darn frustrating. This harness that comes with it comes with a decent hook. Now, I'll tell you, if I do use the harness, I immediately change out that stock hook to an Owner 2X Stinger. This is a mean hook, got a slight inward bend, and it is just nasty. And it's a lot stronger because I'm going to throw this on, again, big swim bait gear, even though it's light enough that you could throw it on most things, right? So, but I'll tell you, a lot of times I have gotten away from using this harness, and I think here's the issue. So I'm going to put this harness back in and show you guys real quick. See if I can get this thing in here. All right, so we got the harness in here. Now, one thing that this bait feels super soft and everything, the problem is this whole front section is hard. So it's the ballast system, it's the harness, and it's the weight. So this is all solid. It does not collapse at all. And so what I think happens is when even a big fish comes over to eat this thing, this hook just gets pushed to the front. I've hooked them on the outside of the mouth, and I've just not hooked them, period. So what I had gone to doing with this bait is I'd run the line through here, and I would just, where that the little harness is supposed to go, I would go in there and stick the bottom hook point of my treble on there, just to try to get the hook as flat as possible to the bait there. And what I'll usually do is I'll cut that third point right there and bend it so that it sits flat. Kind of like the Butch Brown rig, right? It's Butch Browning this thing. And still, it's terrible. I mean, it is god awful, the hookup ratio on it. So you'll get 5 bites and you'll hook 3, maybe. You might barely hook 3, and you're gonna land 1 out of 5 bites. But I've still caught mega bags on this thing because it gets bit so daggum much. It's honestly maddening, because if you want to throw a big bait and they're on this thing, there's nothing else that works like it. But you just have to know and like put it in the back of your mind, like, this is gonna suck because I'm gonna get my heart broken several times. But you just hope that the really big one that eats that day latches onto it. But I'm telling you, so a couple years ago, I was out with my buddy Brian Speller. He's in the military now, and he's over in Washington catching big bass over there. But we were out fishing a little tournament, and I literally watched him and I both. I mean, right at the boat, this like 6 to 7 pounder comes out and inhales this thing. I mean, boom. And all I can see is the line sticking out of her mouth. And I swing, and it just pops right out of her mouth. Didn't even touch her. Like, I didn't even feel like a true pull on it. I don't even know how it's possible, because you're using good hooks, you're using good rods, good line and stuff. But if you guys want to use what, in my opinion, is a swim bait that will give you more bites than any other swim bait will, it's soft plastic anyway, and warm water, you can't get away from this thing. However, if you guys come up with a way to increase the hook to land ratio on it, please message me below, and I will be extremely happy to hear it, because I've been working on this I actually got this bait a year after it came out, and it's been out, gosh, 6-7 years ago is when it came out. And I've been using it for a long time, and in all that time and all the different little tweaks that I've done to it, I still have yet to get the perfect combination to get this into the realm of what I would call a true fish producer, where I have confidence to throw it. Like if I was fishing a tournament, I would pick that up and throw it. It's just not quite there. But if you guys want a chance at a trophy fish right now when things are tough, it's not very expensive. I think they run about $12 to $15. You can get them right now at Talkin Tackle right over there outside of Chester Frost. But yeah, let me know. Y'all really cool tackle customizers out there, please give me a review on this product. Go out there and figure out the proper harness system. Maybe I've toyed with for years actually opening this up and then using Mend-It to take it back, and then taking out the top part of this body, like right there, and making it hollow, so if the fish hits, it collapses. You name it, I've thought of it, I've tried it, but please, you figure it out for me. Anyway, guys, I hope that this has been entertaining for you, and that you'll go out and try that swim bait and maybe have some success on it. If you catch a real big one on it, let me know. I've caught a bunch of big ones. It's been responsible for a lot of my big swim bait fish past really like June. So if you would, try it out, see what you can do with it. But anyway, if you enjoyed the video, smash the like button. As always, subscribe to the channel if you can. It always helps me. And right now I'm trying to get my views up so I can get my monetization back and everything. But as always, I hope this week finds you out on the water, and I will catch you there.